A 6-inch disc of obsidian waits in a dark Tudor study. It doesn't bounce the candlelight back like your bathroom mirror. It drinks it, swallows the flame, and returns a thin, liquid thread of brightness that seems to move when you breathe. The rim is cold, volcanic glass polished by hands that once lived under the Aztec sun. The smell here is tallow and damp parchment, with a resin crackle from a brazier that never quite learned obedience. John D. lifts the disc by its velvet loop and peers into the night he's holding. Now cut, one ray later, to a honeycomb of gold catching sunlight in orbit. The James Webb Space Telescope angles its beryllium facets, each leaf thinner than your patience, and folds a star into focus. If every civilization gets the mirror it deserves, what did each mirror make of us? Case file, opened, from polished stone to gold honeycomb, how surfaces trained the eye and rewired the self. The inventory reads like a spell: obsidian, tin, mercury amalgam, silver nitrate, speculum metal, dielectric stack, beryllium, gold. Venice, 16th century. In the island furnaces of Murano, glassmakers float molten sheets over mercury and tin. The result is treacherously bright, so faithful that for the first time middle and upper-class households meet their faces without distortion. Cosmetics shift from guesswork to calibration. Rouge becomes a measurement, not a rumor. Court etiquette hardens into choreography performed in front of glass, each bow rehearsed with the certainty of a feedback loop. Versailles, 1680s. The Hall of Mirrors turns reflection into statecraft. Louis XIV multiplies himself into infinity. Every ambassador is escorted through a corridor where the Sun King is the sun, and the mirrors are his constellation. Power becomes spectacle multiplied by glass. The itchy wool of a court coat brushes a gilt frame, and you can hear the soft rasp of a world learning to see itself as theater. Jump to a clinic and a lecture hall. 1936 becomes 1949. Jacques Lacan describes the mirror stage, the infant's jubilant misrecognition, the thrill of seeming whole. The mirror isn't passive. It scripts a story about coherence we spend our lives trying to keep consistent. Then the 2010s put a mirror in your pocket and a lens on your face. The front-facing camera and beauty filters make mirrors portable and programmable. The return gaze is now algorithmic. Your reflection is calculated. It edits the self while claiming only to report it. Art keeps a parallel ledger. Jan van Eyck, 1434, the Arnolfini portrait. In a convex mirror no larger than a coin, the room behind the painter blooms. 8 windows, a chandelier, the painter himself, and a claim, "This is truth," staged in glass. Parmigianino, c. 1524, grinds his bravura into a curved panel, self-portrait in a convex mirror, his hand swollen by reflection, his face softened by the instrument that studies him as he studies it. In the 18th century, travelers snap closed their clawed glasses, tinted convex pocket mirrors, turning raw landscape into pre-framed sublime, reality curated by a handheld filter long before apps. The 1860s learned to conjure ghosts. Plate glass at an angle makes an apparition walk on stage. Pepper's Ghost. Reflection becomes narrative engine, a technical choice that manufacturers wonder. And for a moment in the 1840s, your portrait is a polished silver daguerreotype, an image that appears and vanishes as you tilt it, as if your face were trapped in a mirror with a memory. Science files its exhibits with the same gleam. 1668, Newton refuses the rainbow's mischief and builds a reflecting telescope. Speculum metal, copper and tin, becomes a disciplined dish that tames chromatic aberration. A mirror expands the sky. William Herschel scales the idea. Larger reflectors pull fainter objects from the night until the Milky Way looks more like a migration than a smear. Mid-19th century, Fizeau's toothed wheel and Foucault's chattering mirror clock the speed of light. a distant reflective panel turns light into a measurable traveler. 1887, Michelson and Morley lay in interferometers mirrored arms at right angles and listen for ether. They hear silence, and the null becomes a revolution. 2015, LIGO suspends 40-kilogram mirrors on threads so fine they quiver to the groan of colliding black holes across the universe. Cleanroom air whispers and a fringe freezes. In the chip factories of the 21st century, lenses fail at 13.5 nanometers. Only multilayer mirrors, dielectric stacks tuned like organs, can etch the circuits that host our digital reflections. And then JWST 2022, gold-coated beryllium segments stitch a time machine, catching light older than our oceans. Along the way, we resurrect the witnesses. Mercury beads shiver beneath glass as a Venetian artisan slides on a sheet, breath held. A courtier at Versailles adjusts a peruke. The wool tickles, the gilt is cold, the gaze is everywhere. Soot fingers nudge a micrometer until interference fringes stop drifting and, for a heartbeat, time behaves. In a clearroom, a mirror mass hangs in a hush so perfect you can hear your own oxygen. Here's the pivot. Across identity, art, and science, mirrors don't just reflect, they create feedback loops. The more precisely we shape a surface, the more precisely it shapes us. Fidelity breeds scrutiny. Better mirrors fuel grooming codes, portrait realism, and self-surveillance. Amplified seeing expands truth. Interference fringes, telescopes, and lithography convert wonder into measurement. Every mirror is a contract, a promise about what counts as real, the flattering self, the faithful image, the stable fringe. Surface roughness in nanometers equals trust in digits. Coatings equal cosmology. The polish of our tools equals the polish of our stories. Watch the visuals crossfade. Interference fringes dissolve into a social feed's engagement curve. The convex Arnolfini mirror rounds into a smartphone lens. Versailles infinite regression tiles into a grid of video calls. JWST's golden facets stack over an infant's face discovering itself in a bedroom mirror. Two scales of the same bargain, coherence for access. Diagnosis. We now live behind programmable one-way glass. Our mirrors, phones, platforms, sensors, reflect us back with a curve we don't always see. They're optically bright and ethically tinted. Recommendation engines are reflective rooms tuned to resonance. They show you more of yourself until you echo. Beauty filters move the goalposts. A surface edits the self while insisting it is a report. Privacy and surveillance split the pane. Architecture's one-way mirror becomes a metaphor for data asymmetry, bright side versus dark side economics. Meanwhile, JWST and LIGO fling our reflection outward. The truest self-portrait may be our coordinates in a larger, stranger pattern. And the same EV mirrors that tame ultraviolet print the processors that host our digital selves. Optics is destiny. Choose your calibration. Clean your mirror or tint it with intent. Ask of every reflective surface, glass, feed, or graph, what it is designed to make of you. Return to the obsidian. Depinches the candle, the wick sighs and curls. The disk becomes pure night, an absence so complete it feels like a presence. Then a faint star kindles, one, then a field, resolving into a deep image stitched by a gold mirror a million miles away. The past's black mirror becomes the present's gold one. Our face is somewhere in that light. The verdict: improve a mirror and you will write a new chapter of yourself. Now hold it up as a mirror to the present. We are surrounded by surfaces that decide what counts as us, some of them polished to the nanometer, some of them tinted by profit and fear. If we don't tune them, they will tune us. Join the investigation. Become a fellow detective of surfaces. Trace the ray through your own devices, your own rituals of seeing, and tell us what the mirror in your life is training you to notice or to ignore. Legacy question. If a child meets themselves for the first time in a mirror you designed, glass, feed, or sky, what promise would you sign in its surface, and what distortion would you knowingly accept to keep that promise?